Pastor Steve here. Ecclesiastes 7:2 says, "It's better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For this is the end of all mankind, and the living will lay it to heart." One step in overcoming grief, I think, is having a proper perspective on it. We recognize that grief is a natural response to pain and loss, and there's nothing wrong with grieving. In fact, when I was in my first church, a young man was killed just before his graduation. A car hydroplaned and he was killed. And I went into the hospital to comfort the family, and his sister was in there, and she was weeping uncontrollably. And one of the family members said, "Would you give her something for that?" to the doctors. And I said, "Wait a minute. She's the only one who's got it right. She loved deeply. She mourns deeply. Don't just give her something and let her grieve." Grief, times of grief serve a purpose, as Ecclesiastes 2, we just read it. It's better go to the house of mourning to the house of feasting. It's the end of all mankind. It makes us face our own mortality, in other words. There's an implication that grief can be good because it will refresh its perspective on life. We need to face the facts, although let's face it, we're invulnerable, right, in our own minds. Well, everybody's dying around me, but be careful till you get that diagnosis. We too will die one day, and we need to prepare for that. So we need a proper perspective. And the problems of grief, basically the feelings of grief are temporary, long-term temporary. Weeping may remain for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. There is an end to the deep mourning. There is. It becomes a sweet nostalgia. Grief has its purposes, but it has its limit. The sense of grief, as I said, will morph over time, and you'll have a sweet nostalgia. You'll always miss. You'll never move on, as some people say. But don't live in your grief forever. Don't feel as if someone that tells you to move on and forget the loss. Don't do that. But get the perspective that as children of the King, we'll see our loved ones again. John 14, Jesus said, "Let not your heart be troubled." Remember, the night before he was going to die. I said, I understand that. When I lose someone, my heart hurts. My heart hurts. And then when I was leaving Virginia, when my grandson was 4 years old, he came out on the porch. We're both on the bike getting ready to go. And he said, "Grammy, don't go." Grampy was there too. But anyway, "Grammy, don't go." And his mother said this, "Johnny, it's okay. You'll see her again." And Johnny said something that put this into perspective. "Yeah, but not today." So mourn freely, but not hopelessly. Even though your loved one is in a quote-unquote better place, it really seems in the moment that the better place would be sitting beside you. That's okay. That's okay. Mourn freely. You'll see him again, but not today. Ask the God who understands to walk with you, and ask a few friends to walk with you as well. You ponder that, Pastor Steve.